Hello and welcome to episode number 5. Can you believe it? Number 5 of the Alfology2 podcast. I had great fun last time out, playing with cheese, deciding which cheese should be used to recreate the moon. That was good fun. But today we're going for potentially a bit of a shift of topic and going for dating and, I guess, people's love lives. Age-old question in this respect is, how well does someone do in their sex life? And I guess maybe I'm talking more along the lines of sex here rather than love and relationships. I'm talking more the shorter term relationships, if you get my drift, the one-night stands. Many people would say that the number of people who you've slept with is the way to determine that. And those people would be wrong. The number of people who you've slept with is not the best way to determine how successful you are in your sex life. This is mostly because it's pretty much an even playing field. I guess you've got people who are 10 out of 10 stunners, the best looking people out there, obviously fucking on top of people all the time, just absolutely shagging their hearts out, and good luck to them. But then there's the lesser people, the lesser looking people, your fat people, your people with odd looking faces, who are having sex with fewer people. And what people might say is that if you're looking at the numbers game, your stunner has had sex with, 30 people, and your ugly chap has had sex with 9, then your stunner's doing better. But I would counter that and say that the ugly chap has done very, very well to reach 9. And the stunner has not. They haven't done well. They're like a lion catching, a lizard. So, right, big lion, amazing hunters, very strong, catches a lizard, kills it instantly. Where's the fun in that? But a tiny little kitten taking on a big old lizard would be impressive. And it's the same thing here. You wouldn't say that a lion has done well to kill a tiny little lizard, but you would say that a kitten has done well to kill a little lizard. I do realise that potentially the analogy of killing maybe isn't the best way to go when I'm talking about sex and dating, but I tell you what, it's the one I've gone with and I'm sticking with it. That being said, I don't want to do the stunners down. Well, I do actually, because I hate them and they're cunts, but maybe let's be fair to them. These people can still have impressive sex lives. You can't just write off all their achievements because it's, you had all the resources available to you to begin with. So it's a bit of a balancing act. You need to reward people who had no chance to begin with for their successes. But also you need to appropriately acknowledge the success of attractive people. And I hear what you're saying. You're saying, how would you do that? And luckily, I've come here with all the answers. There's a couple of systems that you can use, which I've devised and will tell you now. So I think pretty much an important starting point for any system is you need to tell how good looking you are as the subject of the experiment. So if you're looking to score yourself on how well you've done with members of the opposite sex or the same sex, if you're that way inclined, then you need to work out how good looking you are. So the first step is to appoint a panel of 3 independent judges, preferably mixed sex, so you've got, I guess, a little bit more diversity in the choosing process, and you get these 3 people to give you a score out of 10, i.e., how good looking are you out of 10? So for argument's sake, let's say you were given a 5 out of 10. You're an average looking person. You're okay. No shame in being okay. Lots of people are okay. You're within the bell curve, right in the middle. Nothing wrong with you. But let's face it, you're not a stunner. You're not going to be picking up dates just because of the way you look. You have to work. You have to get a bit of personality. You have to have a strategy like everybody else. So let's say you're a 5, and we'll go with that. So the first method of scoring that has been devised is very, very simple. What you do is you take the total number of people who you have slept with and you divide it by your score out of 10. So say you, as a 5 out of 10, for argument's sake, have been with 10 people. Then you have a score of 2. Make sense? So by that same token, if a 10 out of 10 had had sex with 10 people, they would have a score of 1. So it's like a ratio. Your score as a ratio against your total number. So as a result, it's weighted in favour of the lower people, the less fortunate among human society. They can now compete. Very much like golf, where you have a handicap. So you're given your handicap, i.e. your score, your looking score, whatever that is, like how good looking you are, and you take that and you use that to calculate how well you've done overall. Better looking people have to work harder to achieve the same results as less good looking people, but those results should be easier to achieve because they are better looking. What a system! Who doesn't win from that? It's genius. Everyone is a winner. It makes it a good level playing field. And then when you get into these conversations with people, either on a girly night in or down the pub with your friends or whatever it might be, as to, oh, well, what's your number? Which is a fucking horrible conversation anyway. Then it's not about what's your number. It's about what's your ratio. How well have you done in comparison to the resources that were given to you by nature or by God, depending on what you believe. So I don't understand why we don't go with that. But look, I see what you're saying. You might be a step ahead of me, but actually I'm a step ahead of you. What you're saying is that, well, Alfie, I'll tell you what they could do, what attractive people could do, because they're so goddamn attractive, they could just pile on the ones, couldn't they? Chuck 1,000 ones, like a blue whale eating krill, just absorbing them. Millions and millions just going through without having to work for it because you're a fucking titan blue whale and you can eat as many krill as you like and you won't even notice. That is what it's like for the better looking people among us. That's what it's like for Tom Hardy. Just shags whatever he wants. Whatever, like, and it doesn't matter who they are. And so, for example, if Tom Hardy walks into a bar and goes up to a 1 out of 10 and goes, yeah, come on then, let's go and do it, he's going to be successful, isn't he? Whereas, if Terry, 37-year-old fat plumber from Stoke, goes into the same bar and has that go at that same 1 out of 10, chances are he's not going to be as successful as Tom Hardy. So I see what you're saying, that the system still is weighted towards the better looking people, that they can still achieve more than is possible with the ugly people. And I understand your concerns, and I agree with your concerns. I think that the system is good, but it's maybe not robust enough to provide you with a complete and full accurate picture of how well this person has done with the opposite sex. So, don't you worry, I've come up with a second and potentially better system. This system is based around the quality of the people who you get nasty with. So, again, let's consider you as a 5 out of 10. And you want to sleep with other people and you want to improve your score. Then the quality of the person who you have been with impacts on your overall score. So, again, we use the ratio system. But instead of just doing a ratio on the number of people who you've slept with, then we do a ratio based on the total number of people you've slept with times by their rating out of 10. In an ideal world, the government should get involved and make everybody be rated out of 10 so you can, I guess, work it out yourself. So that you'd say, okay, well, you're a 6. I know you're a 6. So you can, I'll add 6 onto my score. But unfortunately, that isn't the way at the moment. So you just have to judge it yourself. Be honest. Don't call everybody you slept with a 10 out of 10. No shame as a 5 out of 10 in throwing a bone to a 1 out of 10 from time to time. No shame in that at all. So as long as you're honest with your scores, this way will work. So if you are this 5 out of 10, and for example, you've had sex with a 3, a 6, and a 9 out of 10, that's that you've had sex with 3 people and they have those scores to them, that makes 18. That's great maths. 18 in total. So you take your 18 and you divide it by 5. And there you have your score, which I can't work out what 18 divided by 5 is. 3.6 in total. So then your ratio goes to 3.6. So your ratio is your total score divided by your score as a human being. And I think that's probably a pretty good system because it stops your 10 out of 10s going out and, slinging one up a load of ones. And it still allows them to get credit for their 10 out of 10. So, 2 10s going at it, they still get an appropriate score for that. So I think that system really is onto a winner. It provides a level playing field for everybody to work out how successful they've been in their dating life. Now, I do realise that this is a little bit heavy towards the one-night stand. And I did mention at the beginning, so you were warned. But if you are thinking, well, I'm in a long-term relationship and my partner is a solid 8 out of 10. So what do I get for landing that partner? Well, first of all, you get true happiness in your life. You get a deep sense of fulfillment, which you just don't get through sleeping around. But aside from that, I guess if you want to implement your own rules and you want to do it per shag, so if your partner's an 8 out of 10, then every time you guys get it on, you score another 8 points. Problem is, then you get into the realms of massive scores, into the many, many thousands. And it makes it a little bit less fair. Although potentially it does reward the less good-looking person who's managed to pull someone better looking on a long-term basis. So maybe that's worth exploring. But really, I think if we leave it to the short-term relationships, the number of people who you've been with, the quality of those people, I think it's fair. And really, when people are having this discussion of your body count or how successful you've been in your sex life, I don't think anyone's really considering your long-term relationships, are they? No one's really thinking, he was in a relationship with somebody really hot. Or they're thinking more along the lines of, no, look, she has shagged some great-looking blokes. So well done her. That's what they're thinking. And that needs to be rewarded. And this system is a meritocracy. It shows who the true performers are, who's got real game, who's got real chat, who really knows what they're doing, who is strategically very, very good. And it stops these good-looking cunts ruining it for all of us. The final issue that I would like to address on this is age and I guess more so changing appearances. There are people who, when they are 18 years old, are a spotty mess, hormonal. But then they grow up and they get older and they become a very, very good-looking person. Likewise, there are people who are very, very good-looking when they're in their 20s and then go sincerely and massively downhill to become absolute munters in later life. So I do realise that is an issue, but it's an issue which is very easily confronted in that you can get an updated score, get the judges to judge you again, and then I guess you could work out your average score overall, and you could score it on each shag. So when I was a 3 out of 10, I shagged the 6. But then I got better looking as I got older, and I became a 9 out of 10, and I shagged another 6. So each of those is worth a different number of points. There's so many different ways which you can do this. Basically, what I'm saying is that you need to take into account how good looking you are, how good looking the other people are, and the number. It's not just about the number overall. Not that hard to work out. In fact, I don't really know why this sort of system hasn't been implemented before. Maybe because it's a little bit difficult and a little bit mental. But actually, if you really want to know, this is the way forward. And I have Googled it. There doesn't appear to be a huge number of people who have discovered this way. So I'm going to claim it as my own. I'm going to say that this is my theory and I own it and I get to name it. So I have got a name, came prepared. My name for this theory and this way that it works is Alfstein, like Einstein, you know, the clever guy? Yeah? Alfstein's theory of shagging relativity. Yeah? Genius. Not like Einstein's theory of special relativity, no. Alfstein's theory of shagging relativity. That is genius. That will long outlive Einstein and his boring science stuff. Boring old Einstein doing his boring science stuff, producing boring theories about boring special, boring relativity. Whereas I have come in and changed the game. And that's what I do, you know? Sorry, I can't even keep a straight face when I'm doing this. Look, I'm sure Einstein was really good at his whole science stuff, but I'm really good at other stuff, like talking shit into a microphone. And actually, no, I'm not even that good at that. But could Einstein work that out? Probably not. Probably too busy, like, doing nuclear stuff. So, we got different skills, really, me and Einstein. I realised that maybe in this point I've just maybe gone off on a tangent, but it's important to know that I am the Einstein of 2019. So there you have it. Alfstein's theory of shagging relativity. Episode 5, signed off and done. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, do feel free to subscribe and watch the other episodes and wait for more episodes to come out, which there will be. In fact, there's potentially going to be a change in the format going forward. There will still be these episodes of me just ranting about stuff that's been rattling around in my head. Like, that's probably the core of what I've been doing, and I think it makes for a solid podcast overall. Gives you something slightly offbeat to listen to, and maybe stuff that hasn't crossed your mind before. But as of next week, I will be back living in my hometown, which gives me access to my friends and people who I know, which means that I can potentially bring in some other people to either interview or just to bounce off for these podcasts. So going forward, there will potentially be some guests. And maybe the topics will shift from something very specific, like pandas being allowed to die out and changing the order of the alphabet, to maybe more broad topics where I can have a discussion with my guest about that topic. And you never know, it might be entertaining or funny even. You never know. So we might give that a go. That might be the new format for the podcast. So do tune in for that. And feedback is always good. If you're listening to this and you like the format and you want more of this format, then tell me in a comment or a review or in person. If you don't like the format, then fuck off. No, do the same thing. Tell me, like, pretty new at this stage of this, so we'll bend to whatever. I do realise that the main bulk of the podcast finished a good couple of minutes ago now, and I'm now just talking really about me and the podcast. So I'll stop doing that. In fact, you know what, I'll keep it going for another minute just to we can round off 20 minutes for this episode. What else is there to talk about? Right, yeah, so this podcast is now available across the internet. It was originally only available on YouTube, but it's now available across, I guess, most of the major podcast suppliers. Alfology2 is all you need to search for with your preferred podcast provider, and you'll probably get it. It's definitely on Apple Podcasts, the main podcast stream, I guess, but also Spotify and Google as well as Anchor. So plenty of places for you to listen and enjoy. And I guess it's not really at present a visual podcast, so maybe other platforms away from YouTube is a good way to go. But anyway, available across the net. So you can either watch the blank videos on YouTube and listen, or you can listen through your normal podcast provider. It's turning into actually like a proper podcast where people can listen to it and stuff. So do listen to it, is what I'm saying. Anyway, I've actually gone over the 20 minutes now. So thank you very much for listening to this point. Sorry for the last 5 minutes of just talking garbage, and I will be back very shortly with what can only be described as episode 6. Thank you.